What happens when one of television's most beloved morning hosts comes face to face with royal entitlement gone completely wild? It only took 34 seconds for a pleasant morning interview to explode into the most shocking celebrity meltdown ever captured on live television. Before we dive into this absolutely insane story, make sure you hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what you think about celebrity behavior on talk shows. Trust me, you've never seen anything quite like this. Picture this. It's a beautiful morning, and Lorraine Kelly, the queen of morning television, is sitting in her bright yellow studio chair. She's got that warm smile that's made her a household name for decades. Her producers have just told her that a very special guest is about to join her for what should be a lovely chat about charity work and upcoming projects. The guest walks onto the set, and immediately something feels off. The atmosphere changes. You can actually see Lorraine's expression shift slightly. She's a professional though, so she keeps that famous smile and welcomes her guest with open arms. "Good morning and welcome to the show," Lorraine says in her gentle Scottish accent. "It's absolutely wonderful to have you here with us today." The guest sits down, and you can tell right away that this isn't going to be the typical friendly morning chat that Lorraine is famous for. There's tension in the air that even the viewers at home can feel through their television screens. "Thank you for having me," the guest responds, but her tone is already cold. She's looking around the studio like she's judging everything she sees. The lighting, the furniture, even the camera angles seem to annoy her. Lorraine, being the professional she is, jumps right into the interview. "So tell us about your wonderful charity work. I understand you've been doing some amazing things to help people." This is where things start to get really interesting. Instead of talking about helping others, the guest immediately starts complaining. "Well, I have to say, I'm not entirely happy with how this interview was set up. Nobody told me I'd be sitting in such an uncomfortable chair." Lorraine looks genuinely confused. These are the same chairs that hundreds of celebrities have sat in over the years. Nobody has ever complained about them before. "Oh, I'm so sorry about that. We can certainly get you a different chair if you'd like." But the guest isn't finished. "And another thing, the makeup team didn't have the right shade of foundation for my skin tone. Do you have any idea how important it is for someone in my position to look perfect on camera?" You can see Lorraine's smile becoming a bit more forced. She's dealt with difficult guests before, but this is something else entirely. "I'm sure our makeup team did their absolute best. They're really wonderful people." "Well, their best wasn't good enough," the guest snaps back. "I had to redo my entire face myself in the dressing room." Lorraine takes a deep breath and tries to steer the conversation back to something positive. "Let's talk about your charity work though. I'm sure our viewers would love to hear about the good you're doing in the world." This is where the guest really starts to show her true colors. "Honestly, I don't understand why people make such a big deal about charity work. It's not like it's that difficult to write a check or show up to an event for a few photos." The studio audience is completely silent. You could hear a pin drop. Lorraine's eyes widen slightly, but she maintains her composure. "Well, I think many people would disagree with that. Charity work can be incredibly meaningful and make a real difference in people's lives." "Please," the guest says with a dismissive wave of her hand. "Most of these charities are just tax write-offs anyway. The real work is done by other people. Celebrities just show up and smile for the cameras." Lorraine is clearly struggling to keep this interview on track. Her years of experience are the only thing keeping her professional at this point. "I have to respectfully disagree with you there. Many celebrities work incredibly hard for the causes they believe in." The guest rolls her eyes dramatically. "You have no idea what it's like to be in my position. The pressure, the expectations, the constant scrutiny. Everything I do is analyzed and criticized. Do you know how exhausting that is?" "I can imagine it must be challenging," Lorraine responds diplomatically. "But surely there are also many wonderful aspects to your life and career." "Wonderful aspects?" the guest laughs bitterly. "Like what? Having to sit in uncomfortable chairs on morning television shows? Having makeup artists who don't know what they're doing? Being asked the same boring questions over and over again?" The tension in the studio is becoming unbearable. Even the camera operators look uncomfortable. Lorraine is doing everything she can to salvage this interview, but her guest seems determined to make it as difficult as possible. "Well, perhaps we could talk about your upcoming projects instead," Lorraine suggests hopefully. "I'm sure you have some exciting things in the works." "My projects are none of your business," the guest snaps. "I don't have to share every detail of my life with strangers on television just because they think they're entitled to know." This catches Lorraine completely off guard. She's been nothing but kind and professional throughout this entire ordeal. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pry. I just thought our viewers might be interested in what you're working on." "Your viewers?" the guest repeats mockingly. Do you really think your viewers matter to someone like me? They're just ordinary people living ordinary lives. Why should I care what they think? The studio audience gasps audibly. This has crossed a line that nobody saw coming. Lorraine's face changes completely. The forced smile disappears and is replaced by genuine shock and disappointment. "Excuse me?" Lorraine says, her voice barely containing her disbelief. "These are real people with real lives who wake up every morning and choose to spend time with us. They deserve respect." But the guest is just getting started. She leans forward in her chair with a smug expression. "Oh, please, spare me the sentimental nonsense. These people watch morning television because they have nothing better to do with their lives. They live through celebrities like me because their own lives are so boring and meaningless." You can actually see the exact moment when Lorraine's patience finally starts to crack. Her Scottish accent becomes more pronounced, which always happens when she's getting emotional. "That's absolutely not true, and I won't have you speaking about our viewers that way." "You won't have me?" The guest laughs coldly. "Who do you think you are? You're just a morning television host. I'm actual royalty. I don't take orders from people like you." The word royalty hits the studio like a bomb. Everyone knows exactly what she's referring to, and the arrogance is breathtaking. Lorraine sits up straighter in her chair. "Being royal doesn't give you the right to be cruel to people." "Cruel?" The guest scoffs. "I'm being honest. Something you people in the media clearly don't understand. You want me to sit here and pretend that ordinary people matter as much as I do? That's not reality." The studio audience is getting restless now. You can hear murmurs of disapproval rippling through the crowd. Lorraine raises her hands slightly to keep them calm. "Every person matters. That's not pretending. That's basic human decency." "Human decency?" The guest repeats mockingly. "You sound like a greeting card. This is the real world, Lorraine. Some people are more important than others. That's just how it works." "That's not how my world works," Lorraine fires back, her voice getting stronger. "In my world, we treat people with kindness and respect, regardless of their background or status." The guest rolls her eyes again. "Your world? You mean this little television studio where you interview C-list celebrities and talk about the weather? That's not the real world, sweetheart." Did she really just call Lorraine Kelly sweetheart in that condescending tone? The audacity is absolutely stunning. Lorraine's face flushes slightly, but she keeps her composure. This show connects with millions of people every day. We celebrate their achievements, share their stories, and treat them like the valuable human beings they are. Valuable human beings. The guest laughs harshly. "You really believe that, don't you? You think some factory worker or shop assistant is as valuable as someone who was born into royalty?" "Yes, I absolutely do," Lorraine responds without hesitation. "Every single person has value and dignity, regardless of their job or where they were born." The guest shakes her head like she's talking to a child. "That's such naive thinking. The world is divided into different classes of people. Some of us were born to lead and inspire. Others were born to follow and serve. That's natural order." "Natural order?" Lorraine's voice rises slightly. "What century are you living in? People aren't born to serve you or anyone else. Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity." "Dignity." The guest spits out the word like it tastes bad. "You keep using that word, but you don't understand what it means. Real dignity comes from achievement, from status, from being someone who matters." "No," Lorraine says firmly. "Dignity comes from being human. It's not something you earn or lose based on your bank account or your title." The guest looks at Lorraine like she's speaking a foreign language. "You're living in a fantasy world. Money and status are what make people important. Everything else is just feel-good nonsense." "If that's what you truly believe," Lorraine says sadly, "then I feel sorry for you. You're missing out on what makes life actually meaningful." "Feel sorry for me?" The guest's voice becomes shrill. "You feel sorry for someone who has everything? A beautiful life, gorgeous homes, designer clothes, and people who cater to my every need?" "Yes, I do feel sorry for you," Lorraine responds quietly. "Because you have all those things, but you don't seem to have any joy or gratitude. You don't appreciate the people around you or understand how blessed you are." The guest stands up abruptly from her chair. "How dare you psychoanalyze me? You don't know anything about my life or what I've been through." "You're right," Lorraine says, remaining seated and calm. "I don't know everything about your life, but I know what you've shown me in the last few minutes, and it's not pretty." "Not pretty?" the guest shouts. "I'll show you what's not pretty. This cheap studio, these uncomfortable chairs, this pathetic excuse for a talk show. You want to know what I really think about your precious viewers?" Lorraine tries to interrupt. "I think we should take a break and..." No, the guest cuts her off. I'm not finished. Your viewers are losers. They watch this garbage because they have nothing going on in their own lives. They're jealous of people like me, who actually matter. The studio audience erupts. People are booing and shouting. Some are getting up from their seats. Lorraine stands up now too, her famous composure finally cracking. That's enough. I will not allow you to speak about people that way. You will not allow me? The guest screams. Who do you think you are? I'm royalty. I don't have to listen to some nobody morning show host tell me what I can and cannot say. Right now, you're a guest on my show, Lorraine says, her voice steady despite her obvious anger. And guests on my show treat people with respect or they don't stay guests. The guest's face turns red with rage. Are you threatening me? Do you have any idea what kind of connections I have? I could destroy your little career with one phone call. Lorraine doesn't back down. My career is built on treating people well and telling the truth. If you want to destroy that, go ahead and try. The guest takes a step closer to Lorraine, pointing her finger aggressively. You have no idea who you're dealing with. I have lawyers, publicists, and powerful friends who could make your life very difficult. Lorraine doesn't flinch. She stands her ground and looks the guest straight in the eye. And I have something more powerful than any of that. I have the truth and the support of good people who believe in treating others with kindness. The truth? The guest laughs maniacally. The truth is that you're a small-time television host who got lucky. Without this show, you'd be nothing. At least I was born special. Nobody is born special, Lorraine responds calmly. We become special by how we treat others and what we contribute to the world. Right now, you're contributing nothing but ugliness. The guest's face contorts with rage. Ugliness? You want to see ugly? I'll show you ugly. Your show is a joke, your audience is pathetic, and you're a washed-up has-been who peaked 20 years ago. The studio audience is in complete uproar now. Security guards are moving closer to the stage. Lorraine raises her hand again, trying to maintain some semblance of order. I think it's time for you to leave. Oh, I'm leaving, the guest shouts, but not because you told me to. I'm leaving because this place is beneath me. This whole studio smells like failure and desperation. She starts walking toward the edge of the stage. But she's not done yet. She turns back around to face Lorraine one more time. You know what the funniest part is? You actually think you matter. You think this little show makes a difference in the world. It does make a difference, Lorraine says firmly. We bring a little joy and connection to people's mornings. We celebrate their achievements and make them feel valued. That matters more than anything you've ever done. Joy and connection, the guest mocks. You're delusional. These people forget about your show the second they turn off their televisions. Your background noise in their meaningless lives. If that were true, Lorraine responds, then why are you so angry? Why does a little morning show host like me threaten you so much? This question clearly hits a nerve. The guest's voice becomes even more shrill. You don't threaten me. Nothing about you or this pathetic show threatens me. Then why are you screaming? Lorraine asks quietly. Why are you so upset about the opinions of people who don't matter? The guest realizes she's been caught in her own contradiction. Her face gets even redder. I'm not upset. I'm disgusted. Disgusted that I have to waste my time with people like you. Nobody forced you to come here, Lorraine points out. You chose to be our guest. You could have stayed home in one of your gorgeous houses. My publicist made me come, the guest snaps. She said it would be good for my image to do charity work in morning shows. What a waste of time that turned out to be. So you're only here because someone told you it would make you look better? Lorraine asks. Not because you actually care about helping people? The guest pauses, realizing she's just admitted something very unflattering about herself. That's not... of course I care about helping people. Really? Lorraine presses. Because for the last 15 minutes, you've done nothing but insult and belittle people. That doesn't sound like someone who cares about helping. I help people by being an inspiration, the guest says desperately. People look up to me. They want to be like me. After watching this interview, Lorraine responds, I don't think anyone is going to want to be like you. You've shown them exactly what kind of person you really are. The guest looks around the studio and seems to realize for the first time that cameras have been rolling this entire time. Her face goes pale. You're not going to air this, are you? This is live television, Lorraine says simply. It's already been aired. The guest's mouth drops open in horror. Live? Nobody told me this was live. I thought this was being recorded. Every morning show is live, Lorraine explains. That's what makes morning television special. It's real and authentic. Authentic, the guest repeats weakly. She looks around at the audience, who are still staring at her with disgust and disbelief. I need to fix this somehow. The only way to fix this, Lorraine says gently, is to apologize sincerely and mean it. Not for the cameras or for your image, but because you genuinely understand that you've hurt people. The guest looks like she's considering it for a moment. You can see the wheels turning in her head, but then her pride takes over again. Apologize? For what? For telling the truth? For not pretending that everyone is equal when they're clearly not? Lorraine shakes her head sadly. I was hoping you might have learned something from this conversation, but I can see that you haven't. The only thing I've learned, the guest says coldly, is that this show and everyone associated with it is beneath my standards. I should never have agreed to come here in the first place. Then please, Lorraine says, gesturing toward the exit, don't let us keep you any longer. The guest storms off the stage without another word, leaving Lorraine standing alone under the bright studio lights. The audience erupts in applause for their beloved host, who handled this impossible situation with grace and dignity. Lorraine looks directly into the camera with tears in her eyes. I want to apologize to everyone watching at home. You deserve so much better than what you just witnessed. You are valuable, important people who make this world a better place every single day. She takes a deep breath and continues. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have some lovely guests who actually understand what it means to treat people with kindness and respect. As the show goes to commercial, Lorraine sits back down in her yellow chair, visibly shaken but still maintaining the dignity that has made her a television icon for decades. The contrast between her behavior and her guest's behavior couldn't be more stark. The audience gives her a standing ovation that seems to go on forever. She wipes away a tear and smiles that famous warm smile that has comforted millions of viewers over the years. Even in her most challenging moment, Lorraine Kelly proved why she's considered the queen of morning television. The guest never returned to finish the interview. She left the building immediately, leaving behind one of the most shocking celebrity meltdowns in television history.